Let's talk about it. I've wanted to compare and contrast this for the past 5 days. I mean, what a promo on Friday Night SmackDown. Let's compare and contrast the two biggest promos in WWE in the last 14 years. Let's compare and contrast the two biggest superstars in the PG era. Let's compare and contrast the main event of Night of Champions. Let's compare and contrast CM Punk's pipe bomb in 2011 to John Cena's pipe bomb in 2025. It was a hell of a promo. It is taking John Cena's heel run to the next level of what we saw in Grand Rapids, Michigan on Friday night. Where do you guys want to start? Can you even compare these two? Can you compare Phil Brooks' promo to John Cena's promo? CM Punk's promo happened in an era where not a lot of really cool shit was ever said in the PG era. John Cena's got a little bit more leeway 14 years later in the Paul Levesque, Lee Fitting era on the creative side. It's his farewell tour, and quite frankly, he's the Elvis Presley of professional wrestling, man. He can say whatever the hell he wants, and he did say whatever the hell he wants. So let's get into it. Let's break them down. When I was a 10-year-old kid, Phil Brooks, CM Punk, cutting the pipe bomb promo in Las Vegas, Nevada was something that was very green to me because I had just started watching the product. I knew there was bad guys. I knew there was good guys. I knew John Cena was the franchise player. I knew the likes of The Miz and CM Punk and R-Truth being, the villains. Christian was a big villain at that period of time. CM Punk, well, let's start with this. The parallels are uncanny. And the fact that they're able to tell this story in a 15-year separation period is bonkers to me. CM Punk cutting that promo and going on the Summer of Punk run that he did for the next 3 years before quitting and leaving for 10 years, it's unparalleled, and it's what made CM Punk a fan favorite amongst many in the world of professional wrestling. Phil Brooks is my personal all-time favorite professional wrestler. It's CM Punk, it's Chris Jericho, it's Bray Wyatt, it's Triple H, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Right there. Top 5 for me all time. CM Punk leaving the WWE for 10 years, joining AEW after 7 years away from pro wrestling altogether, having a fallout with AEW and returning to WWE was as shocking as it could be. And then John Cena announcing a retirement tour. You're like, we're probably going to see Punk versus Cena at least one more time. And we're seeing it 14 years later. And then for them to recreate the promo that made CM Punk a bona fide superstar against John Cena cuts a promo, probably one of the best promos of his entire career. I don't want to put it up against the likes of his promo against Roman Reigns or maybe his promo against Austin Theory, some of his promo work against Cody Rhodes, amongst other people, because he's one of the best promo workers in all of pro wrestling. But John Cena easily cut the best promo of his heel career since turning heel back in March earlier this year at the Elimination Chamber. It took his heel run to new heights. So let's compare and contrast. John Cena versus R-Truth was the main event for both pipe bomb moments in a 15-year span. How crazy is that? That John Cena was facing Ron Killings on the night that CM Punk cut his pipe bomb promo in 2011, and that John Cena was again wrestling Ron Killings in the main event of SmackDown in Grand Rapids, Michigan in 2025 when they recreated the pipe bomb promo in reverse. You can't write that stuff. You really can't write that stuff ahead. Things have to fall into place. A month ago, R-Truth wasn't even employed by the WWE, and they'd bring him back, and now he's in this feud again with John Cena in the main event with the WWE title looming. It's crazy. R-Truth has had 2 main event pushes, once against John Cena in 2011 and once against John Cena in 2025. You can't write it. CM Punk cut one of the more dramatic, charismatic, and controversial addresses in the history of pro wrestling in an era, like I said, the PG era, where not a lot of cool shit was said and not a lot of truth was said. It was a lot of cookie cutter, PG, 9-year-old bullshit that we were getting from the WWE at the time. And granted, their margin audience at that time was 9, 10, 11-year-old boys. It just was. And that's what John Cena gave us. CM Punk cut a promo in which he talked about wrestlers that weren't in the company, that not a lot of people were really privileged to. He talked about former people in the company that a lot of people knew but were since out of the company because they were fired or they left. He talked about what the future of the WWE looked like in a very brash manner, addressing the McMahon family and calling them stupid, calling them bullies, calling them What do you call Stephanie? Idiotic. He called Triple H a doofus. I'd like to think that this company would be better after Vince McMahon's dead, but it's just going to take over. It's just going to get taken over by his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law and the rest of his stupid family. Those were the words of CM Punk that night in Las Vegas, Nevada. John Cena has been known to rip people to shreds on the microphone. Austin Theory still hasn't recovered from that John Cena promo that he cut against him back in 2023 before WrestleMania 39. He went a little bit light on Cody Rhodes, though I will say that line about John Cena building empires for billionaires where Cody just stole money from their kids, that is a line I will never forget. But Cody Rhodes was obviously booked in a situation there to kind of go mano-a-mano, tit for tat against John Cena on the microphone, and you can't blame WWE there. John Cena could have torn Cody Rhodes to shreds if he wanted to. He tore Roman Reigns to absolute pieces in 2017, saying, if you want to be the big dog, you're going to have to learn how to cut a promo, kid, so go ahead, because Roman Reigns lost his train of thought against a guy that is so sharp and witty on the microphone. You just can't do that, and John Cena took advantage and exposed the weakness that was Roman Reigns' promo work back then when he was the big dog. CM Punk talked about how John Cena was great at kissing Vince McMahon's ass. He was an even better ass kisser than Hulk Hogan was. But he didn't know if he was as good as Dwayne, though, referencing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Dwayne is and always was a pretty good ass kisser. Always was and still is. And that's when CM Punk waved to the camera saying, whoops, I'm breaking the fourth wall. CM Punk would then go on to talk about how Paul Heyman, of all people, saw something in him that nobody else wanted to admit. To a green wrestling fan like me at 10 years old, who's Paul Heyman? I haven't seen that guy on my television screen. Paul Heyman was fired from the WWE 6 years prior to that. Paul Heyman was not in the WWE, and CM Punk referenced him. He referenced, yeah, that's right, I'm a Paul Heyman guy. That was the first night that the Paul Heyman guy signature was referenced. We talk about how Brock Lesnar's a Paul Heyman guy, CM Punk's a Paul Heyman guy, Roman Reigns was a Paul Heyman guy, Seth Rollins is now a Paul Heyman guy. The Paul Heyman guy was coined by CM Punk in that Pipebomb promo. But you know who else was a Paul Heyman guy? Brock Lesnar, and he split just like I'm splitting, and that's what CM Punk said in that promo. He referenced Paul Heyman. He referenced Brock Lesnar, two guys that were no longer in the company. A year later, who's back? Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman with Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman with CM Punk. Hey, Colt Cabana, how you doing? Who's Colt Cabana? He's not in this company. CM Punk referenced, like I said, he told a lot of truth in that promo. He talked about Paul Heyman. He talked about Brock Lesnar. Within a year, they were both back. He talked about how the company was going to get taken over by Vince McMahon's idiotic daughter, Stephanie McMahon, and his doofus son-in-law, Triple H, and the rest of his family. What happened over the course of the next 15 years? Triple H and Stephanie McMahon ran creative. Shane McMahon came back, helped out with creative. Who's running the company now that Vince McMahon is officially gone? Paul Triple H Levesque. He called it, man. He called it. And 14 years later, after knowing how dramatic and how controversial and how impactful that Pipebomb promo was, when John Cena put CM Punk through that table and he grabbed that microphone, you knew they're recreating this Pipebomb promo in Grand Rapids, Michigan tonight on SmackDown. Holy shit, John Cena has made a living of destroying people on the microphone. Like I said, he could have destroyed Cody Rhodes. He destroyed Roman Reigns. He absolutely eviscerated Austin Theory. The one guy he's never been able to match on the microphone in his entire career, CM Punk. CM Punk is laying flat in the middle of that ring through that table. Remember how CM Punk kicked off that promo against John Cena 14 years ago? John, as you lay there as uncomfortably as you possibly can, I want you to listen to me. I want you to digest this, because before I leave in 3 weeks with your WWE Championship, I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. How does John Cena start that promo? Punk, as you lay there as you most uncomfortably possibly could be, I want you to listen to me. I want you to digest this, because before I leave in 6 months with that WWE Championship, I got a lot of things I want to get off my chest. Verbatim of what CM Punk said 14 years ago. It was brilliant. And full well knowing that CM Punk had mentioned people that were no longer in the company, how he had mentioned someone who had never really been in the company in Colt Cabana. He mentioned that CM Punk deserved to be at the forefront because CM Punk was the best wrestler in the world. I don't hate you, John. I like you a whole hell of a lot more than I like most people in the back. I hate this idea that you're the best, because you're not. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world. What does John Cena say 14 years later? I don't hate you, Punk. As a matter of fact, I like you more than anybody else you've ever shared a locker room with. CM Punk's history in a wrestling locker room, whether it's in Ring of Honor, WWE, AEW, WWE again, he doesn't have many friends back there as far as us fans on the outside know. And again, I will always say that as a fan and as a content creator who is on the outside looking in, I don't really know shit. But I do know, I have read the receipts, I have read the dirt sheets, I listened to Dave Meltzer, I listened to Sam Roberts, I listened to Chris Van Vliet, I listened to Malcolm Muscle, I listened to just about everybody out there. Santi Zip, my good friend Steve Tesh, Wheezy, all these people who document professional wrestling, right? We know that CM Punk is either loved or he is hated. He is loved by millions of fans across the world. He has been hated and vilified by a lot of people in a lot of locker rooms. Seth Rollins, Colby Lopez, not a huge fan of Punk, as we know. Drew McIntyre, not a huge fan of Punk. The Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, a lot of people in that AEW locker room. Jack Perry, just to name a few names. Not a big fan of CM Punk in that locker room. Triple H was not a big fan of CM Punk the first go-around. CM Punk always butted heads with Vince McMahon. His history is documented with superstars backstage. And John Cena referencing the fact that he likes him more than just about anybody he's ever shared a locker room with. But he hates this idea that he's the best in the world, because he's not. Because John Cena is the greatest of all time. There is one thing that is true, though, and that is CM Punk, you are the biggest bullshitter in the world. We've heard John Cena say fudging on TV. We've heard him say a lot of childish things. We've never seen him curse on WWE TV. That was the first time I think we've ever seen John Cena say shit or any like legitimate curse word. We've heard crap and hell. Those aren't real curse words. Come on, I grew up on the East Coast. Those are not real curse words. Bullshitter, that's kind of a real curse word, and John Cena said it. You know, the guy that was on my cereal box growing up, the guy that was the PG era version of Eat Your Vitamins, brother. You can't see me. John Cena, the ultimate good guy, the most Make-A-Wish Foundation grantor in the history of Make-A-Wish. Said a curse word on TV and he pulls Stu aside. He references Stu the cameraman for the first time in his heel promo, saying, "Hey Stu, come here, capture this. Look, I'm breaking the fourth wall." And when John Cena waved to the camera saying he's breaking the fourth wall, you knew shit was about to go down. He's going to tear CM Punk to shreds in a way that CM Punk has never been torn to shreds on the microphone, because if there's one guy that can tell the truth better than CM Punk, it's John Cena when he wants to. What does John Cena do? He says CM Punk's the biggest bullshit order in the world. CM Punk is a guy that has stepped on the throats of every WWE superstar before him to get to the top. And then what does he do? He looks at the camera and he goes, "Hey, Claudio Castagnoli. Hey, Nick Nemeth. Hey, Matt Cardona, how you guys doing?" Claudio Castagnoli, obviously, formerly known as Cesaro in WWE. Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler in WWE. And Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder in WWE. Three guys that never really got a main event push in that era that CM Punk rose to the top. And who knows if it was backstage politics. Again, I don't know shit, ladies and gentlemen. All I know is, as a diehard professional wrestling fan, I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest of what I'm analyzing before my very eyes in that Pipebomb promo from John Cena. He mentioned Zack Ryder, who never got a push. He was Edge's lackey. He was an internet sensation, you know, the internet champion. He was over, but he wasn't getting a main event push. Dolph Ziggler, how many times could that guy get over and put on banger after banger after banger, five-star classic after five-star classic, but he never really got that push. They put the world title on him multiple times. He was Mr. Money in the Bank, had probably one of the most iconic Money in the Bank cash-ins of all time, but he was never the guy. And Claudio Castagnoli, man, Cesaro, came into the WWE as Antonio Cesaro, had every ounce of talent. He has more talent than I do, or he has more talent in his left pinky than I do in my entire body. That's how good Cesaro was in a ring as a technically gifted professional wrestler. Did he have the mic skills to back it? Not necessarily. They paired him with Paul Heyman at one point. They wanted to give him a push because the fans got behind him. But again, never was a world champion in WWE. He should have been, man. Claudio Castagnoli referenced. Matt Cardona referenced. Nick Nemeth referenced. The only thing that I will say as a side note that could have made that promo unforgettable, the only thing that could have made that promo better than the original, better and matched with the original, because to me you can't compare and contrast two Pipebomb promos when you kind of needed the first one to happen in order to compare them. That's the Pipebomb promo. But John Cena referencing Claudio Castagnoli, Matt Cardona, and Nick Nemeth, it was cool and it was unpredictable, and it caught my eye, it caught a lot of people's eye. The only thing that would have made that iconic and made it comparable to the original Pipebomb promo is if John Cena referenced the three guys that have never been referenced in WWE and probably never will. Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson. If John Cena was able to utilize today's professional wrestling audience and leverage all the content creators out there and leverage the fact that fans aren't stupid. We watch all the products. If you're a real fan of pro wrestling, you would understand that that moment if they decided to give it to us, which they went with those names. I feel like those names were more protected, even though they're not in WWE anymore. Those are names that are on good terms with the company. If John Cena referenced those three names that have never stepped foot in WWE and probably never will, in Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, holy crap, would that been? That would have been one of... That would have gone down as probably one of the most iconic moments in the history of pro wrestling if he had mentioned those names. WWE was not going to give AEW the benefit of the doubt at all. I mean, they mentioned Claudio, but that was a WWE name. If they mentioned those three names, I think that John Cena's Pipebomb promo eclipses CM Punk's Pipebomb promo in every way. But they end up going with Cardona, Nemeth, and Castagnoli. Great promo. John Cena then goes on to say that CM Punk is no longer anti-authority. What happened to the CM Punk from 14 years ago that cut that promo? He's not against the WWE and TKO. He's Mr. TKO. And when you really sit back and think about it, ever since coming back to the WWE, CM Punk has been Mr. WWE and Mr. TKO. He's shown up at all the appearances. He's doing all the interviews. He's a squeaky clean good guy. He's taken great pictures with Triple H. He's kissing babies. He's wearing suits and ties. CM Punk is Mr. TKO in 2025, and John Cena is the villainous heel just spewing the truth like how it was 14 years ago. It takes John Cena's heel run to the absolute pinnacle now. John Cena is finally a heel that we can all love to hate. Because John Cena, since turning heel, I mean, it was a huge moment, top 3 moment in the history of pro wrestling when he joined forces with The Rock. But since then, we really haven't gotten the heel John Cena that we can really get behind. That promo has taken John Cena to the whole next level. Can't wait to see what he says on SmackDown tomorrow. Can't see what happens in this WWE title match with CM Punk at Night of Champions. We're getting it. If you told me back in 2014 that John Cena would be the WWE champion, I'd be like, what the hell, Vince? Like, we're still doing this? We're still doing this. If you told me that in 2014 that Seth Rollins was Mr. Money in the Bank, I'd be like, how? He's Mr. Money in the Bank now. How is he Mr. Money in the Bank again? And if you told me that the main event of Night of Champions 2025 for the WWE Championship was going to be John Cena defending the WWE Championship against CM Punk in Saudi Arabia, of all places, 48 hours removed from the U.S. attacking Iran. Come on, man. Come on, man. You can't make this stuff up. Cena Punk Night of Champions this Saturday. We'll be reviewing it with Steve Tesh on Saturday night. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe on our YouTube channel at Jack O'Hara TV. Do I have your attention now? What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below.